DJ Spoon Breakfast.
Good morning, Losch Tshina Mdau. Welcome to the DJ Spoon Breakfast. Welcome, 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 welcome.
Thank you for joining us in studio, but we'll start it off nice and light. Karen, you have a long history in administration, probably the first administrator we've had all month actually. Tell us a bit about what does administering a federation entail?
Lots of admin. Yeah, no, I think it's got many facets to it. All the way from making sure that everything is in place, to have community programs, to have competitions and events for your players to play, all the way through to preparing the guys who want to be professional. So it's making sure that their lives are easier and the things are in place for those to happen, those events to happen.
And how much more difficult is it because you're dealing with disabled athletes?
Everything is the same. There's nothing really different about a disabled athlete. The only challenge is when you come to hotel rooms and transport, because not many vehicles and things are very disabled friendly. If you're flying somewhere, you only really can have two disabled people on a plane at the same time. So it really is a bit more challenging to transport anybody somewhere. And many of the hotels are not adequately can cater for especially a group of disabled athletes.
Fortuna, you are a netball star in your own right. Welcome to the DJ Spoon Breakfast. Why netball though? Because I remember even the first time I met you, I was like, but you have the body to play any sport, really. Why netball in the end?
Thank you for having me on the show. And why netball? I like being around people, and it's such a lovely environment to be around girls. So I started at a young age.
It is a lovely environment to be around girls.
So I started at a very young age, and I just continued with it, I guess. So yeah, that's how I chose netball.
Is that the only sport that you played though?
No, I've done soccer, cricket, athletics. I have two brothers, so everything went.
I want to touch on, before we move on to your personal journeys in sport, the issue of doping. And I know, Karen, you've worked in pharmaceuticals before. And my take is just around when do we forgive and forget? Justin Gatland ran the 100 meters at the World Champs recently. He was booed at the starting blocks. He was booed during the race. He was booed after the race. And my thing is, if he's paid his dues, because he was banned, do we say now every time we see him it's going to be a bashing, or do we get to a point where he's like, you've paid your dues, let's all move on?
So that's a very difficult question, and I think it is up to every single person as a person, whether they forgive and forget and let it carry on. I think it depends where you come from. If you're an athlete or extremely passionate, or maybe they don't excite you as much as an athlete, you're probably not going to be so forgiven or forgiving. But I mean, if you look at even just people who are incarcerated in prison, they can reform. So why can't an athlete reform? So I think it really does depend on where you're coming from, enough whether you choose to forgive or not.
And it seems like a bit of a double standard. We see Maria Sharapova back on the court, no one really booing her and saying you must get off the court as well, Tshina. So at what point do we just you serve your time and you're back, and we respect the fact that you're back and the law's taken its course?
I think, as Karen said, it's up to the individual, but as an athlete, all we really want to do is perform and show our talents. So it's never about always winning or doping at all. We don't intentionally do it. Obviously some of us do, but it's not the end game. It's just for us to show our talents, and we just want to go back on court after doing wrong and still show that we still do have this talent and can bring greater good to the world.